All right, guys, so we are finally up in the front of the car. We spent enough time in the back end putting the new rear in that has the torque worm from Speedmaster in it, and doing the King SSL springs, reassembling everything, and basically the back end's done. Really, the only thing in the back I made changes for right now. I'm a little back and forth on whether or not I want to put this drive shaft in. While the carbon fiber drive shaft is awesome for acceleration, I do drive the car a lot, and I am a little nervous about it getting hit with road debris because unlike a metal drive shaft that can take some of those rocks and things like that that come up, a carbon fiber drive shaft, if it gets nicked, that's pretty much a death sentence, and it'll blow apart. Won't kill anything underneath the car, but it'll blow apart, and that's $1,400 down the toilet. So I'm a little... We'll see. Right now, the two-piece is still in there for the most part, so I just have to take that adapter plate off and bolt the original one back in, which is probably what I'll do to get her driving again. But for this episode, we're working the front end, all right? It's actually much easier for the most part than doing what we did in the back end because there's no deep pinning involved. We just have to, we'll get the wheel off, obviously. There's a couple things that have to be unbolted, some hoses / lines that have to be taken care of, so that you don't trash them when you're taking the whole thing apart. But we're gonna go side to side. So we'll do this side completely, do the other side completely, and then I'm gonna sneak in underneath there and get the drive shaft hooked back up, and she'll be essentially ready to drive under its own power again. But enough rambling, let's get in underneath there. I hope you guys really get something, you know, educational from this. If you have any questions, by all means, reach out. I do try to, in most cases, limit how long my videos are, but sometimes for things like this, they get a little long. Sometimes I accidentally jump over a section that you probably were interested in. So please don't hesitate, reach out. And don't forget to, you know, comment, subscribe. You know, I got 90% of the people that watch my stuff are people who haven't subscribed. So, like, you know, it would help me out a lot. In any event, I'll shut up. Let's get in there. Let's get down to business. Thanks. All right, so we're underneath the passenger side. It's pretty straightforward. You'd have to remove this guy out of there. You want to undo the clip, of course. This is the mag ride harness. Very, very straightforward. We just want to unclip this, get this out of the way. We've got to get this bolt out of there. This is for the sway bar end link, and you can see this is looking pretty rusted. So this may be a bit of a fight to get that off of there. You're going to want to pull this guy. This will release this to move forward. And then I think it's just a matter, there's a couple other guys here. We can't see that too well. Let me move my light. There we go. We're going to want to turn that, kind of get it out of there. And easiest thing to do here, pull this out, get that out, like turn. It's one of those things where you got to turn it, move it out. And then this clip, I think the easiest thing to do for this guy, just to get it clear of it, is pull this off here and then come in from behind and squeeze the clip. So, you know, oh, see, just like literally just like that, and it comes right out, right? So let's move it forward here. We'll give that a quarter turn to get her up and out, and you can see it wants to come out. So that's easy. Just get that guy right out like that. Simple. That pulls that guy out of the way, and then that's free. That comes from the back of that's the speed sensor. So we want to kind of get this out of the way, and we got a good video of what that looks like. This guy will be the same thing. You want to get in here, and whichever way it wants to let you turn it, you can quarter turn it and get it out of there, but I'm going to need both my hands. So, and then it's just a matter of addressing up top here. But, you know, you got to actually get this loosened, and that'll release the entire thing. So what I would suggest we do here is eventually grab the jack, and we'll bring the jack in underneath to kind of hold this assembly up once it releases. So I'm not going to touch the top until I get all these pieces off. But it should be really very, very straightforward. So let's get it done. I'll let you know if I have any heartburn. But yeah, let's get to it. One of the things I just wanted to give you guys a quick look at. Now, this is the sway bar end link here. Huge end link. I'm actually very surprised at how big the damn thing is. But this is 14 millimeter. So you're kind of wondering, like, why? This guy is actually 7 millimeter, and what I'll end up doing is putting a socket on here, you know, the 7 millimeter, and this keeps the end link from rotating, and then I'll be able to get socket on the end of that. So I can't really do a good job of holding the camera, getting it positioned so you can see it, but I just wanted to walk you through it. So 7mm, 14mm, odd sizes for GM to choose, but they did. So yeah, let's get this off. All right, so next is pretty straightforward. It's a 19mm wrench on this side, 22mm socket on this side, and it's just breaking this bad boy loose. You pull these two guys loose, and then what I'll end up doing is leaving them in so I can loosen up this top nut up here over top of the strut. And then it's pulling it out, guys. Really, really that easy. So let's get the strut out and get it up on the bench, and just take care not to mess up this rod down here, right? This thing's pretty extended. You don't want to break this. So make sure you have a jack ready to lift this up once you pull the bolts out. So now that this is all loosened at the bottom here, we need a 24mm wrench to cover this guy at the top of the strut to break the nut loose here. And then you need the elusive 10mm socket for this spot. So we'll get that on there. I don't know. I'm going to try to get the camera set up so you can kind of see what I'm doing, but there's a good chance the damn thing's going to fall. But here's to hoping. All right, so there you go. So that right there, that releases the, gonna leave this right up here. And so that actually releases the shock at this point. So that holds it at the top. And now what I have to do is take it, drop it down, break it loose off of those guys, and I should be able to take it out. All right, so we got her up. Shock's out, obviously the strut's out. We have it up on the vise here. One of the things we got to be careful of is this guy. Got to be super careful when we take this apart, because this has the ball bearings in it. It has a bearing underneath it that we got to take out. So I'm going to be super duper careful when I lift this out. And I see a little spider walking along there. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to compress this. It really, there's not a ton of stored energy in here, so I'm just going to compress it down where it comes off a little bit. And tighten it up. We'll put the new springs in. We've got some couple of things going on here when we're pulling this apart. There's a zip tie there and a zip tie there. I'm going to try to avoid cutting them if I can, so that when we take the boot off, it just comes off and I'll slip it back over top of it. My guess is that I will not be victorious, but let's give it a go, and I'll periodically show you guys what's doing. All right, so we've got the actual bushing off, and you can see, very easy. Just once you lift it, you loosen it up, just lift it a little bit, and then you can get your thumb underneath it and hold the whole thing together, flip it, and put the sandwich down. So everything's still together, nothing fell out, all is right with the world. Now I've got, as you can see, I've got the spring held in place here. Now what I'm gonna have to do is get this hat off, get the spring off, so I can start loosening the spring hat. But I want to see if I can get this boot. I really don't want to cut this, so I'm going to try to slip the boot off, and hopefully I'll be able to get the entire spring off. But fingers crossed. So, all right, so I mean, it's back together. It was really that simple. The hardest part's going to be making sure that we got this piece aligned properly, but I can muscle that, kind of into alignment, because the spring doesn't have the same amount of coils as the stock one does. Stock one has a few more turns, and this is a progressive rate, so you can see how it gets a lot smaller up here. But she's ready to go back in, guys. So I wish the damn rears were that simple, but as you go through this, you get better and better. So that's probably also why it's getting easier and easier for me to do it. But let's get her back in the car. Let's get it back together. Do the other side. All right, folks. So I am under the car, and drive shaft is halfway in almost. You can see my little makeshift stilt here to hold it in place. But this guy has to bolt up to the yoke of the transmission. This is 70 foot-pounds, 57 foot-pounds on this guy, and I had to modify my 9/16 here to, or no, this is, what is this? Is this 5/16? 5/16 to fit in here with the ratchet on it. So I've thread locker rented everything, and I gotta find my damn wrench because I'm not 100% sure where the hell it went, but I'm gonna get this guy in, and then we'll do the other end, which is for some reason 58 foot-pounds on that one. But here you are, folks. One-piece drive shaft installed, tightened, fingers crossed, everything's aligned properly. If we look down the drive line here, everything seems to be pretty good shape. It doesn't look like there's really any interference or anything like that, so I'm not going to mess with it. I may put a drive shaft loop or something in right where the original carrier bearing, that center bearing was. But yeah, man, we're ready to rock and roll. So everything seems to fit pretty well. I'm pretty happy with it. I mean, it's tight, but none of this stuff should move. So I'm thinking that we should be okay. So let's get out underneath the car. It's too dark. I'm scared. All right, well, it's done. That was pretty simple, pretty straightforward. I got to find some new caps for the strut tower. Maybe put a strut tower brace on it down the road here. But what do you think, Ben? We done? What do you say? Thumbs up, pal? All right. Okay, going here. All right, so thanks for watching. And what do you think, Ben? You want to say see you next time?
See you next time.
All righty. Thanks for watching, guys. Take care.